Good evening. So, if you're watching this channel for the first time, please hit the subscribe button. And if you like this video, go ahead and like it. If you don't like it, you can give it a thumbs down, but give it a thumbs up. The subject tonight is going to be whether or not I should get a computer science degree. Not me specifically, but you. And the reason why I'm talking about this tonight is because a couple of days ago, a colleague of mine sent me the resume of somebody that he knew that had just gotten a degree in computer science. And this person is looking to get their first job, get their foot in the door. And he was telling me, it's like, oh, this person would be willing to do, an internship, or just an entry level job, just anything where they can start coding. And they did some coding projects and stuff when they were in college, but they haven't done anything in the real world yet. So I told him, it's like, I'm going to go ahead and send this person's resume to a couple of people I know. And sure enough, within a matter of minutes, this candidate had gotten contacts back from at least one of the people that I sent him the resume. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because if you have a degree in computer science, that's extremely valuable. So one of the things I've come across in my career, I've been working as a software engineer for over 20 years, and the vast majority of the people that I have worked with do not have computer science degrees. And the thing that's interesting about that is that while a lot of the people I work with have college degrees or even engineering degrees, they haven't had a degree in software engineering or more specifically computer science. And the thing that I always thought was interesting about that was that because of that, I only got a chance to work with a handful of people that actually had computer science degrees. And one of the things I learned from working with them is that they're all were pretty sharp. And so I think there's been a lot of attention lately put on to the fact that that there are these coding boot camps and other ways you get your foot in the door to start a job doing software engineering, doing computer programming, and you don't need to have a computer science degree. And while that's true, the people that I've worked with that have computer science degrees have been extremely sharp. They've all contributed well to the teams that I've worked on. And to see why, all you have to do is take a look at what is involved in these computer science programs. So if you're going to any fairly reputable university, they're going to teach you the basics about algorithms, data structures. You're probably going to have to learn a couple different programming languages. Usually there's a project in there where you have to work with a compiler or build a compiler. So this is all great stuff for as far as like building up your skills and knowledge as far as computer programming goes. That being said, you don't need to have one of these degrees to get your foot in the door, but it's definitely going to help if you're looking for a job. If you want to have a job, working in software engineering. So my experience is a little bit different. So I don't have a degree in computer science. I have a degree in I have a Bachelor of Science, more specifically in aeronautical science. And what does that mean? Basically, that's a degree around professional aviation. I learned to be a commercial pilot, and I kind of got in. I had an interesting route to becoming a computer programmer. But that's actually not all that dissimilar from a lot of the other people that I've worked with. I've worked with people that started their careers either as carpenters, journalists, photojournalists, all kinds of different occupations, and they managed to some way find a way of getting a job working as a computer programmer. So my suggestion would be is if you are still in high school, for example, and you're looking for a career path, you've had some interest in doing computer science, maybe you've taken some programming classes in high school. That's definitely something to look for as a computer science degree program. The one thing I will state is, depending on the cost of the university, I know some of these schools now are charging over 60, in some cases $80,000 a year to go to school. If you are planning on financing that yourself, or you have to pay that back, that's an awful lot of money to have to pay back. My suggestion would either, if you're going to one of these schools that charges that kind of rate, see if you can't get a scholarship or some other type of financial aid other than just taking loans out. I know a lot of people have been saddled with a lot of debt, and I can honestly say that it's not worth it. There's other schools that certainly cost a lot less where you can go to get a degree like that. A lot of state schools offer computer science programs. So if you're one of those people that's really sharp and you've managed to get a full ride scholarship, and maybe you're going to MIT, you're going to Stanford, they've got great computer science programs there. But those schools are also, they also tend to be expensive, especially if you're coming from out of state. So my suggestion would be look at different schools that have computer science programs. They're also, obviously, they're going to vary from school to school, but you can ask around, do a little research, find out how the different schools compare. I know that the local university here in town, there's a regional university in Jacksonville called the University of North Florida. There's also JU, Jacksonville University. Both of those schools, I believe, have computer science programs. So look around. There's a lot of different places. There's a huge need right now for people that know how to do. We need people that know how to do software engineering. And so, so that if you already have a degree and you are looking at getting your foot in the door, there are these programs I did mention earlier, which are called coding boot camps, and they have these programs. Some are online, some are in person. They range depending on how intensive the program is. There's a school in particular based up in New York called the Flatiron School, as an example, where I believe they do like 12 hours a day for 5 days a week for 12 weeks. It's a very intensive program. And my understanding is they do a pretty good job of kind of getting people up to the speed to where they can go in and apply for jobs and get jobs as an entry level software engineer. So the other thing that's interesting about those programs is that a lot of the people that go to those programs already have degrees. So, for instance, let's say you went to school and you have a degree in maybe journalism or general education or something like that. You can go to one of these schools and get the knowledge that you need to get an entry-level job. For me personally, I used to work as a graphic artist. I had done that while I was in college, and I got a job doing that once I graduated from college. And while I was trying to, get a job flying, I was, working in this desktop department. And one of the things I started doing while I was there to try to automate things was I started trying to, script different, parts of my job. And then I started writing scripts for the other people I worked with in my department, and I started managing the software that we used in my department. And they kind of moved me into IT, and once I moved into IT, I wound up doing some more programming type stuff, and that's how I kind of worked my way into being a software engineer. And it's not really dissimilar from the approach of a lot of people. A lot of times, people that are already working at a company, and maybe there's an IT department or a software engineering group in the company, a lot of times if you're already working at one of these companies, that's one way you can get your foot in the door, and do some of these companies are pretty good about taking somebody that is a junior person, stuff like that, mentoring them. Look for mentors. It's another thing that you can do that will help in trying to get a career as a software engineer. But that's basically what I wanted to talk about in the video, was basically to talk about computer science programs. I think there's been a lot of stuff, like I said earlier, to try to dissuade people from, going to college. But if you are looking to go to college and you're looking for, a good career once you finish college, computer science programs actually an excellent choice. And so I know that, if I was if I was in high school right now, as an example, and I was looking for a program to get into, I would definitely be looking for school, particularly a local school that offered a computer science program. And then if I was, really, uber smart, like the kind of person that could get into an MIT or into a Stanford, I also would have looked at those programs as well. But like I said before, I don't think that there's any school that if they're trying to charge you 80 grand a year, it's worth it. Even if they're, you can, pass it off to your parents. That's an awful lot of money. So that being said, let me know what you think. Like I said before, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. And please subscribe to my channel. Have a nice evening.